Alright guys, let's have a fucking heart-to-heart, shall we? Let's open up and talk for a bit. What do you guys say? In case you guys haven't known, I haven't said it publicly yet, but to my 41 subscribers, that is. But I've been training for 7 days a week for these past 2 weeks. So every day I've been training, literally every day, 14 days in a row. That's it. You know, it's only about 14 days. And why I did it was because of Eric Bubenhagen. He was my main inspiration for doing this thing. Check out his channel. He talks about it a lot there. I'll link his channel down below. Now, why I've been doing it is not only, of course, for the physical advantages. You know, I'm going to get sharper, smarter, stronger when I train every day. Of course, there are going to be people, oh, you need your recovery, all that bullshit. Go fuck yourself. I get enough recovery. Not dumb. I am a bit dumb, but not that dumb. Anyway, and so I train every day because out of experience, I know that a lot of boxers, right, amateur and professional, struggle to make it to the gym just for 5 days a week. Some don't even make it 3 times a fucking week, amateur and professional. Too busy fucking partying and shit, right? Now, why I'm training every day is because this not only gives me the physical advantage, right? It gives me the competitive and mental advantage, okay? So when I step in that ring across from that motherfucker who's struggling to make it to the gym 5 days a week, and I'm working 7 days a week, not only am I gonna beat him and dominate him physically, but mentally, I'm gonna leave a scar on his brain. And I know it. I know stepping into that ring, I've definitely shadowboxed more rounds than you, hit the bag for more rounds than you, sparred more rounds than you, and ran more miles than you, and lifted more weights than you. I only lift weights about 2 to 3 times a week. More than that, it's just honestly my schedule. It's already pretty fucking hectic, and it gets way too hectic. And 3 times a week does enough for me. You know, I can get stronger, I get faster with those 3 days a week. 2 to 3 days a week. I don't need any more than that, right? And right now I'm in my cutting phase. You know, I'm cutting weight. Okay. And it just so happened to coincide. I'm not training 7 days a week to cut. It just so happens to coincide. These 2 events in my life happened to coincide. I didn't know I was going to pick up the 7 day a week thing when I planned on cutting on January 1st, like 4 or 5 months ago. But my point is, my friends, is this. If you really want to get an advantage, a competitive advantage, and I'm starting to get this out of experience and not only theorizing and philosophizing. If you really want to get an advantage, right, you have to put the work in for anything. If you want something, attack. You have to go into attack mode. Sometimes you have to put aside things that you don't want to put aside. I had to move halfway across the fucking world pursuing and taking this risk that I don't even know if it's gonna fucking plan out or not. But I'm gonna do everything in my fucking power to make that happen. I put aside relationships for this. Why did I say it like that? I put aside relationships for this. I've put aside friendships for this. I've tossed aside partying. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing all this stupid shit, right? And I'm starting to develop this mentality, and I can feel the change inside me, right? I put aside so much shit, and I'm using all that anger and aggression and the fucking resentment, all of it. Instead of harnessing it and hating it, you know, using it as just this little disease that eats me up from the inside, and it makes me become one of these angry fucking people on the street that you just see with the mean face walking. No, I'm gonna use that aggression and use that anger to pursue something higher than myself, which is for me to be the best boxer that ever lived, right? So, my point is, kind of a ranting video, this, I know. Okay, bear with me. Jesus. My point is not only should you train every day, train for whatever thing you're doing, right? Because it's going to give you a competitive advantage and maybe even a physical advantage. It depends on what you're doing, but it's also going to reignite that flame every single day. See, when I go in there every single day and I do it, I remember why I'm doing it, right? I go in there, I'm like, fuck, now I have to shadow box for 7 rounds. But I know why I'm doing it now. I keep it, it's drilling it not only to my head, but into my nervous system, right? So, I can't really find one point to touch on in this video, because I made multiple points to touch on. I will say one thing, is that use your resentment to the world and your anger to your advantage. Nietzsche talks about this. You know, he says, harness, he doesn't say, I'm paraphrasing, harness your envy. Don't put aside your envy. Don't dissociate from it. Don't make it something other than yourself. Your envy and your resentment and your anger and your aggression are very fucking real. And the more you can use that, the more... Some old guy thought I was yelling at him. The more you can use that, right? The more you can get done. Use your aggression. You already have it. Harness it. Use it for the better good. And I'm not talking about, you know, the greater good, or I'm not going into any philosophical fucking endeavors. I'm talking about your better good. To become a better person, a stronger person, if you will. Long ass video. I'm gonna let you guys go now. It was nice having a fucking heart-to-heart with you guys. And my 41 subscribers. And I will be seeing you guys soon. Done.